Don't you wish your girlfriend was hot like me? Don't you wish your girlfriend was hot like me? Oh yeah, don't ya? Don't ya? Do, 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 do. Do, do, do.
For goodness sake, Brooke, put some more energy into it. I see more movement in a tectonic plate. Oh, for goodness sake, what are you doing? I said, more energy into it. This way, I'll show you. Let me show you what to do. Watching?
Yes.
You see? I have to put this energy into it, and then... you see, you should be able to see your face in it.
Who'd want to see your face?
Pardon?
I said yes. You're right, Scarlett. I can certainly see your face.
God rest his soul. You and Abbie would have learned how to do this sort of thing a long time ago, if only he hadn't always insisted on having an au pair to do all the housework.
It wasn't the housework he had the au pairs for.
What's that you say? Oh, please don't mumble. You mumble like a moody teenager. Nobody can hear what you say. Look, let's try that again, shall we? Diction, dear, diction.
How's that?
A little better.
Anyway, what about Harvey?
What do you mean, what about Harvey? Harvey doesn't live here anymore.
No, but when Dad died and you sacked the au pair, Harvey was still living here then, wasn't he? You never made him do any cleaning, did you?
Oh, for goodness sake, I treat all my stepchildren the same. Not that any of you are children anymore, although you do behave like teenagers. No, Harvey was kept to do more masculine things because he was excused the washing and the cleaning up so that he could do exactly what that, masculine things that men have to do.
Masculine? Harvey? Tell me you're joking, right?
No, I'm not joking. In fact, he will be here shortly, as you well know, to sort out our little problem.
Well, I still think it's unfair.
I hope you're not suggesting that I have to do some of the housework. You know very well that my rheumatism precludes me from that kind of activity.
You seemed all right just now when you were showing me how to do the cleaning.
My dear, you're becoming very annoying just lately. I think you should apologise.
What for?
Well, for goodness sake, you live here, free with your sister. I charge you nothing, and you live very, very well. So everything that you earn, you can squander as you see fit. Now, when you get married, which of course you should be by now, you will thank me for having taught you how to do this thing.
Sorry, Scarlett.
So you should be.
Anyway, I'm going to get a house husband.
Oh, a house husband? Oh my God, what on earth is going on?
Sounded like Abbie.
I've seen it again! Oh, it was in the kitchen this time! Huge! What on earth is the matter, girl? Oh, it just walked across the worktop like it didn't have a care in the world. Pull yourself together. It won't kill you. Oh, I'm not so sure. It's only I read somewhere that if you corner them, they go for your neck.
No, Abs, that's men.
As I just said, Harvey will be here shortly to sort out the little problem.
Oh, I hope he does. It's horrible sharing a house with one of those.
What, men?
No, stupid. Rats.
Well, I can't see as much difference between them, actually. They'll eat anything and they make a terrible mess wherever they go. And they're always looking for new holes.
That's a good point. What? Oh, is Harvey bringing his new girlfriend? Or what's her name? Lucy?
Yes, I believe he is. Yes, that's her name.
Well, what's she like? Have you met her yet?
Pardon?
I said, have you met her yet?
No, I'm just as curious as you are to see what she's like. I'm sure I'll get something of an opinion when I see her.
Hello, Scarlett. Did I hear my name mentioned?
Yes, we were talking about rats.
Yes, Abbie's seen it again.
What?
Well, the rat, of course. She saw it in the kitchen, and Ruby saw it last night in the laundry room. Now, I do hope that you come armed with a solution to the problem, because I do not think that I can stand any more of Abbie's screaming and Ruby's constant rambling.
Aunt Ruby isn't one to say in a sentence what she can make a whole chapter out of, is she?
Yes, it gets a bit worrying. I mean, has she always been like that, Scarlett? It gets a bit worrying when she's rambling on.
Concern yourself about Ruby. She will be fine.
Oh, but she's been worse since she split up with Uncle Cliff.
Well, I always said that she could have done better than that, for goodness sake. I tried to tell her that before they were married. But I mean, a lorry driver, for goodness sake. And only an HGV Class 3.
But Uncle Cliff is really nice.
Yeah, he's a top bloke. Aunt Ruby must be gutted.
Particularly given the reason why they split up.
Hey? What reason?
Haven't you heard he couldn't, you know.
No. Couldn't what?
You know!
No, I don't know, for Pete's sake. What couldn't he do?
He couldn't deliver the goods. In the bedroom!
Is that why she left it? Because he wouldn't provide her with a quota?
She must be devastated.
Oh. Aunt Ruby.
Don't be
I
so...
must...
That you're being just very vulgar now, stop it.
I can't imagine what it must be like not to be able to do the old mattress mamba.
Do the what?
You know, the horizontal hokey pokey, hobble the horsey, hide the salami.
Oh, I see what
Harvey! That's quite enough, come here. Don't be so coarse, dear.
Sorry, Scarlett.
Now, you're not in possession of the full facts.
Oh, full facts. Is there more to it then? What's the gossip?
Listen, young lady, and that goes for both of you, all of you. There's no way that I will be telling you any of the details of my sister's private life. Suffice to say that not everything that you see is black and white. That's all I'm going to say now.
It must be something juicy.
Oh, I'm sure she'll get over it, given a bit of time.
I've always said the easiest way to get over someone is to get under someone else.
That's enough. I think it's about time that we got the solution to the problem.
Oh.
And I think the rat, Harvey.
Yes, Scarlett. Look, the bloke in the shop said that this is the best stuff around.
Oh, but it just looks like salt or something.
Yes, but you wouldn't want to put this on your fish and chips.
Oh, it will get rid of it for good, won't it? I've heard that once you get rid of them, they keep coming back.
No, Abs, that's men.
You're such a comedian, Brooke. Look, don't worry, Abs. Once they're gone for good. Look, the bloke in the shop said just a few grains of this is enough to dispatch a rhino.
Yes, well, rhinoceri are not our problem at the moment. As long as you have sufficient to see off our current rodent, that will be fine.
Rhinoceroses.
I beg your pardon?
Rhinoceroses. The plural of rhinoceros is rhinoceroses, not rhinoceri.
Don't be so facetious, young man.
Is Lucy with you?
She's just bringing the bags in from the car.
She's what? Oh, you're a proper gentleman, you are.
What's that supposed to mean?
Where do you want the bags, Harv?
Oh, this will be her now. Just bring them in here, darling. You can meet the family. Now, you two, be nice.
Of course.
We're always nice to your girlfriends. It's you they have to worry about.
Scarlett. Lucy, this is my stepmother, Scarlett.
Oh, she's a little shorter and paler than I had imagined. I think she probably needs some more iron in her diet. Are you one of those vegetarians?
No, hello, Mrs. Lay. Harvey's told me so much about you.
He's told me absolutely nothing about you. I'm sure I shall be able to form something of an opinion, given the fullness of time.
And this pair of chavs, Abbie and Brooke, my sisters.
You're right.
You're right.
Isn't she just drop dead gorgeous?
Bum's a bit on the large side.
Well, it's just as well I'm a breast man then.
That's a bit sexist, isn't it?
All right, I'm a breast person.
I'm here, you know.
I know you are, babe. Kiss, kiss.
Nice top. Where did you get it?
Oh, Top Shop.
Working class.
I told you, be nice.
Oh, it's like a little joke, aren't you, Brooke?
Might have been.
Shoes, Brooke.
Oh, thanks.
I was going to get a pair of them last year.
Nice one, Luce.
Where did you get your pendant from, Lucy?
Oh, Harvey bought it for me.
And what did you have to do to get that?
Well, I didn't have to do it.
That is just about enough of this small talk. Now, Harvey, I think you should go and do whatever it is you're going to have to do to get rid of our problem. Our unwanted visitor.
Yes, madame. Ratbusters at your service.
So, Lucy, which part of town are you from then?
Well, originally.
Lucy, you can come in with me. You can watch me in action.
That'll be a first.
You're such a wag. Scarlett, do you mind if we have a few words later, in private?
Oh, that's fine, yes.
It's all right, Harvey. You can beg for money in front of us. We won't be embarrassed, will we, Abs?
No, feel free, go ahead.
It's not about money, so you can stick that in your designer handbags. Oh, hang on, Luce. I'll give you a hand. Come on, this way.
Right, I have a few phone calls to make, so I suggest that while I'm out, that you make sure that this room is sparkling like a new pin. I will be back.
Here, did you hear that? Come on, Lucy, come and see me in action.
Oh, see, more action in that lava lamp.
Oh, she seems well in love.
Oh, she'll see through soon enough, just like the rest have.
She seems all right, though, doesn't she? I mean, she gives as good as she gets.
She's all right, I suppose.
What do you think Harvey wants to speak to the Scarlett Pimpernel about?
Oh, it'll be about money for sure.
Well, I suppose we'd better do something to this room, make it look different, so Madam thinks we've done something. Now, come along, Brooke. Put your back into it. I want to see this room sparkle like a new pin.
Yes, stepmother dear. Right away, stepmama. Anything you say.
Pardon? Speak up, dear. Remember, diction.
What do you reckon Scarlett meant when she was talking about Auntie Ruby and about us not knowing the full facts?
I don't know, but I'd love to find out.
For sisters, they're very different, aren't they?
Yeah, ever so. I mean, for starters, Ruby doesn't talk posh like Madam, does she? And she doesn't look down her nose at everybody either. They're like chalk and cheese.
Well, isn't that because Scarlett was brought up by her grandparents because her parents couldn't afford to keep them both, and Ruby was brought up by her parents in the East End?
Well, that's the official story, but I wouldn't be surprised if there's more to it than that.
Me neither.
Oh, she thinks she's better than everybody else.
Who, Ruby?
No! High and mighty Scarlett, of course. I mean, we go out to work all week, and then on weekends we have to clean. And she doesn't even lift a finger. It's like it's beneath her or
She
something.
reckons it's because of her rheumatism.
She hasn't got rheumatism. No more than I have.
She's right about one thing though.
What's that?
Well, about how much money we spend.
I'm not with you.
Wow, it's the 8th of the month and I've already spent most of my wages on a new dress, a couple of pairs of shoes, a bra, and a packet of M&S knickers.
M&S? You're going a bit down market, aren't you?
Well, I thought to myself, why spend a fortune on underwear when the only person who gets to admire it is me?
But what if you pull a nice guy and end up back at his place or something?
On the rare occasions that has happened, I would swear that if I asked them the next morning to describe my underwear, they wouldn't even know the colour, let alone the value. They're only interested in the contents.
Good point. As long as they're removable, they don't mind.
Do you know, I swear I could wear a pair of Primark men's wide fronts and most men wouldn't notice.
You know what your problem is? You don't know how to budget.
I know how to budget. My problem is that there's always too much month left at the end of my wages.
Oh, wait. Does that mean that you haven't got any money for when we go clubbing tomorrow?
I've got my new dress and I've got my stinky shoes. Use them wisely. Who needs money?
That's a good point. But you won't always be able to rely on your physical, what do you call it? Physical
attributes. Abbie,
what?
do you believe in intuition?
No. But I've got a funny feeling that I might do one day.
Only I've just had this strange feeling come over me all of a sudden.
Like that time we sat on a washing machine in the middle of the spin cycle.
No! Like something exciting's about to happen, only I can't make out if it's a good feeling or a bad one, you know.
The only exciting thing that happens around here is when Scarlett and Auntie Ruby get pissed on the Baileys. Have you noticed how she seems to lose her posh accent when she's a bit tiddly?
Oh, I asked her about that once. She reckons she does it to make Ruby feel at home. Not sure if I believe her or not.
What do you reckon?
So, what do you reckon's going to happen then?
I don't know. I can feel it in my water though, and it's not cystitis.
Hey, we should try that thing again sometime, eh?
What? Cystitis?
Washing machine!
So, Scarlett, this is my business plan. Have a read through, and I think you'll have to agree it can't really fail. All I need is around £75,000, and I've got 3 other potential investors who say they are ready to match it.
And how much of the £75,000 do you have already?
Well, none, actually.
It's as I thought, it's just like the last time. You come up with these harebrained ideas and you expect everybody else to come up with the money and take all the responsibility, whilst you contribute the total sum of absolutely nothing.
Oh, come on, Scarlett, just read through my business plan.
Look, I've mislaid my glasses, and even if I had my glasses, I wouldn't want to read it, I'm sorry. You see, what was it the last time you went into a scheme? What was it? Recycled mobile phones? Oh, that couldn't fail either, could it? But it did, didn't it? Rather spectacularly, Harvey. And it took several £1,000s of my money with it.
But this time it's different. This time I've got a proper business plan and other potential investors.
Look, I am not prepared to invest £75, let alone 75,000. You have a perfectly good job with a reasonable salary. Why can you not just be content with your lot? Why do you have to keep coming up with these harebrained schemes? Well, as they say in the television programme, this dragon is declaring herself out.
Bloody dragon, all right.
Speak up, young man.
I said this is not a harebrained scheme, Scarlett. Dad always said, aim high, Harvey. There's no prizes to be won at the bottom.
I think he rather expected you to aim a little higher.
Dad always said when it came to good ideas, I had my head screwed on.
I suspect that a few of them have grown loose over the years.
I'm just trying to follow in his footsteps.
Don't be so ridiculous. You will never be half the man your father was. Look, the best I'm willing to do is to spend more money on you than your sisters. I will speak to my solicitor and see what I can arrange, because goodness knows they would only squander the money on clothes and makeup if I left it to them. When I shuffle off this mortal coil, which might be sooner rather than later given the strain of living in this household, you will have more than enough to fund your business plans and also to pay off your mortgage. But until such time, I'm afraid you will just have to be patient.
But Scarlett, I could be waiting years.
Oh, I apologise if my living is going to hold up your business plans.
No, I didn't mean that.
Look, I will call my solicitor and I will talk to her and I will sort things out. But I'm not prepared to discuss this any further. So I suggest you leave me in peace before I change my mind.
But Scarlett...
No, don't test my patience any further, young man. Just go.
Did I hear Harvey's voice?
Yes, he's just gone into the kitchen. Have you seen Abbie? I asked her to look for my glasses, and God knows where my glasses are. It's so annoying. Where are my glasses?
On the back lawn.
My glasses are on the back lawn.
No, I didn't mean your glasses. I meant Abbie.
Abbie is on the back lawn looking for my glasses.
No, she's hoovering Charlie.
She is what?
I said she's hoovering Charlie.
I heard what you said. Why is she on the back lawn hoovering the dog?
What? Well, I suppose it's because it's a bit less messy out there.
But why is she hoovering the dog?
Well, she says that you're always complaining about all the dog hairs and stuff that we found around the place, and she reckons that if she hoovers them off, the loose ones off, before they come in, then she should get the job done much quicker.
Well, how is she saving work when she's still hoovering, and now she has a moving object to deal with, and also the hoover to carry?
Ah, yes, but she says she has much less surface area to deal with on the dog than on the furniture, so she should get the job done much quicker.
Do you know what? I think I'm the only sane person in this household. And do you know what? My sanity is being stretched to the absolute limit.
What did Harvey want to speak to you about?
Oh, nothing at all.
Well, he said he wanted to speak to you about something. What was it?
Nothing at all.
I've just seen something very strange on the back lawn.
Yes, Ruby.
You're never going to believe this, but Abbie is hoovering the dog.
Yes, Ruby, we know.
It's a bit unusual, isn't it? I mean, I've heard of dog grooming parlours where you can get your dog's hair styled and dyed and all sorts of things, I think. But why on earth would you want to hoover a dog?
Look, if you have any problem with Abbie's hoovering habits, I suggest you take them up with her.
Sorry,
Now,
Scott.
have you found my glasses? Have you seen them anywhere?
I'm sorry, but you know, when you see something like that, well, I just felt I just had to ask. I mean, do you know what my dad used to say, Brooke? My dad used to say that I was too curious for my own good. I always used to ask loads of questions, but I could never answer any. I think I've got an inquisitive nature, don't you? Cliff said I ramble on a lot. You know, I went to the doctor's once to see if I could take anything.
Ruby! Will you please shut up?
Sorry, Scarlett. What were you saying?
I was saying, have you seen my glasses?
Well, no, but I've only been in the bedroom and bathroom today, haven't I? And of course, they wouldn't be in my bedroom. I didn't look in the bathroom because I didn't know they were missing. If I'd known they were missing when I was in the bathroom. So, to be quite honest with you, I didn't notice them in the bathroom. In fact, I'm sorry, I'm rambling again, aren't I? Deep breath, Ruby. Think logically. When did you last see them?
If I knew where they were, I wouldn't be looking for them.
Well, there's no need to bite my head off. Have you looked in the fridge?
Oh, what?
No, that's the first place I always look when I lose something.
What on earth are you talking about?
Well, do you not find, as you get older, you tend to do silly things? Oh, I do. Only the other day, you know, I was grating some cheese. I put the cheese in the dishwasher and the grater in the fridge. Oh, it comes to us all, you know. And last week, I was opening a tin of beans, and I put the beans in the saucepan, like you do. Then I put the empty tin in the cutlery drawer and the tin opener in the bin. I didn't find it till the next day. It's easily done.
It may be easily done for you, but I can assure you I am in full control of my faculties. And I am not in the habit of putting my glasses in the fridge, in the bin, or in the dishwasher. Now, please, I think you can help me. Come along. Help me find the glasses, for goodness sake. You can search the dining room. Come along. And you, young lady, you can have a very good look in here and make sure you do it properly.
Oh, which room are you going to look in?
Well, what do you mean, look in? How can I find anything or look in anything where I have no glasses to look with? I shall accompany Ruby. Come along, Ruby.
Just a point.
You looking for something, sis?
Scarlett's glasses. They seek them here, they seek them there. They seek the Scarlett Pimpernel's glasses everywhere. She's as blind as a bat without them.
Just as batty with them, eh, sis?
Don't you go getting all friendly with me, you snake in the grass. I heard you.
What?
I heard you earlier asking Scarlett for more money. What's going on? What hold have you got over her?
I don't know what you're talking about.
There's no way that she would agree to hand over that much cash. You know as well as I do that she thinks you're a total pillock.
Hey! You can't insult my Harvey like that!
It doesn't count as an insult if it's the truth.
You're a very rude person!
You keep out of this. This is family business.
And you can't talk to Lucy like that!
You've got some sort of hold over her, haven't you? Why would she agree to change her will like that? You know as well as I do that she would never agree to it.
Harvey, what's she talking about?
Oh, she's just being stupid, darling. Look, Dad always said that we should be encouraged to be entrepreneurs like he was.
You, an entrepreneur, tell me you're joking.
What's going on? Why are you arguing?
I'll tell you what's going on. Harvey has persuaded Scarlett to change her will so that he gets loads of money and we will get peanuts, that's what!
It's not like that, Abs. You know what she's like, she's just twisting the facts. It's not nearly as bad as it sounds.
I'll get that. You, stay there. I haven't finished with you yet.
You know what she's like, Abs. She goes off on one and blows everything out of proportion.
I know who I'd rather believe.
He says he's here to see Scarlett. If you just wait here a moment, I'll go and get her.
Hi.
Hello.
I'm Abbie. This is my brother Harvey.
Hi. Hello.
And this is Lucy.
Hello.
Do you know Scarlett then?
Sort of.
He's not got a lot to say for himself, has he?
Come on, Luce. Let's go out to the garden.
Brooke said you're to stay here.
And since when was she leader of the universe? Tell her to take a running jump. Come on, Luce. Excuse us.
Would you like a cup of tea or something?
Yeah, all right.
Milk and sugar?
Don't bother. He won't be staying.
Hello, Scarlett.
You two, would you please go in the kitchen and wait for me?
Shall we look in the fridge for your glasses?
Talk about what I said on the phone earlier today.
Look, I told you not to come here. I told you never ever to come here. Do you understand? Now please leave.
Now, Scarlett, did you really think I was just going to give in just as easily as that? I don't think so. Not until I get what's coming to me.
Look, Lee, or whatever your name is, if you don't leave here immediately, I will call the police.
I don't think so. I don't think you're that stupid. Besides, if they turned up, I'd have no excuse but to tell them and your family your dark little secret. And besides, I haven't committed a crime, have I? Yet.
There's blackmail and extortion for a start.
And how are you going to prove that then? Well, you owe me. Perhaps I will have that nice cup of tea after all. Yeah, that'll be nice. A nice little chat with your two stepdaughters while I'm in there. After all, I've got plenty to talk about, haven't I?
Just give me a minute. Let me get my head around this. Just give me a minute, please.
I think I've been more than patient with you already. It's not as though you haven't had enough time to think about it. I'll be back tomorrow afternoon, and you better well have got your thinking finished, and you better be well and truly straight by then, or I will start talking, Scarlett. No more chances.
You cannot come back here. I won't have it. I will meet you elsewhere. You cannot come back here.
You don't dictate to me! Now sit down! You don't call the shots. Don't worry, your secret is safe with me, as long as I get what's rightfully mine.
Please. Please leave here. Just go, please. Please, go.
I'm going, but I will be back tomorrow, and it will be the last time you see me. Understand?
I could see you were asleep, so I thought I'd make you a bit more comfortable, that's all.
If I were more suspicious, if I had a more suspicious nature, I might suspect that you were thinking of suffocating me.
Oh, don't be so silly. Or is that your idea of a joke? Do you know something? I can never tell whether people are joking or not, especially when they're being ironic.
No, it's not my idea of a joke, and it's not as ridiculous as it may seem, given your present situation.
I don't know what you mean. It shouldn't be me that's worrying.
What are you talking about?
Talking about your secret, that's what. I wish I could just take a little pill and erase my memory. Oh yes, life would be so much easier. I am the only person that knows, aren't I? Or at least the only person that we know of.
I wish you could erase it too. But what makes you think you are the only person who knows?
Who else?
Never you mind.
Come on, I think I have a right to know. Who else?
A right to know? You have absolutely no right to know. Absolutely no right at all. Every time you've wanted anything, you come to me, whether it be money, whether it be a car, and now it's a roof over your head. And I had no choice, did I? If I said no, if I ever turned you down, then you could have the sword of Damocles hanging over my head. You had the power to ruin me.
Strictly speaking, I still have, haven't I? Well, we are okay, aren't we? I mean, I've never had any reason to tell your secret to anyone.
Oh, I don't think you'll be telling anyone anything anymore.
What do you mean?
I mean, my dear, that I know about you. Why have you and Cliff split up?
What's that got to do with anything?
Oh, everything. Why have you got to split up with him?
You know the reason why. He's incompetent.
Impotent,
Yes.
dear. Well, there is a subtle difference.
Let's just say that I had needs and he could no longer fulfil them.
You have needs. Oh, for goodness sake, why don't you just say what you mean? I hate that expression. You mean that you cannot get sex, that you're sex-starved, and he can't do it for you.
Silly.
Has it ever occurred to you that he may not want to do it with you?
Oh, yes. Don't be so silly.
Well, you have to agree that the architecture is not quite as sound as it used to be, is it?
I'll have you know that I've still got quite a lot going for me. There's a lot of men out there that still find me attractive. And anyway, Cliff's problem's a medical one, as you well know, and we decided to an amicable separation. We talked long into the night and decided that at the moment that's the best solution.
So, he is staying there until he can find somewhere else, and you are staying here with us and gracing us with your presence until you can go back home again, I suppose.
Exactly. And as you know, everybody that knows that we split up knows the reason why.
But does everybody, including Cliff, know about you and his brother, what's his name, Robert?
I don't know what you mean.
I saw you yesterday, Ruby. I saw you in Starbucks, cozying up in the corner.
No, you must have been mistaken.
Oh, for goodness sake, don't try to deny it. I walked into the cafe and I saw you, and I wouldn't have spotted you up in the corner, ensconced in cuddles with him, if you hadn't just been coming back from the ladies.
All right. We bumped into each other in town and he asked me if I'd like to go for a coffee.
Oh, please, do not say things like that, for goodness sake. I saw you, Ruby. I saw you. The way that you were behaving was that you were like teenage lovers, for goodness sake. When does it start? How long has it been going on? Now tell me about it.
Oh, all right, Scarlett. A few months now. Cliff confided in Robert about his little medical problem and that the medication he was given wasn't working, and he just stayed around later that evening and comforted me.
Oh, I bet he did. He's been comforting you ever since, I
It's
suppose.
not like that at all. We became close and it just happened, that's all. You're not going to tell Cliff, are you?
Don't worry. Your sordid little secret is safe with me. For now.
My secret's sordid. You can talk.
Hello, Mrs. Lane. We've just been having a little siesta, haven't we, Harv?
Well, actually, we've just been having a bit of rumpy-pumpy in the garden.
Harvey!
Great fun too, wasn't it?
Oh, hello. We didn't see you come in. How are you? What are you doing?
Are you two alright?
Yes, we're
Don't
fine.
get the babies again, have you?
No, we're fine. Why don't you go and make us a nice cup of tea, dear? And a cup and saucer for me, dear. You know I hate those horrible mugs. Thank you, dear.
Okay, Scarlett. Did you hear that? She called me dear. 3 times. She must be going soft in her old age.
So, as I was saying, I can now relax. We have a more level field, and I don't think that you're going to do anything to damage me. Not without me being able to do the same sort of damage to you in your wonderful little world.
But we are okay, aren't we?
No, we are not okay, as you say. But if you mean, can we continue to coexist together, I suppose so.
Hello, Auntie. What have you been up to?
Nothing. Why? Who's been talking? Were you over here? Were you listening? No, nothing. We're all okay. Everything's fine.
No, we weren't. Why, is something wrong?
No, everything's fine.
Were you and Scarlett having a Barney?
Well, no, not really. It was everything and nothing, really. But we're all okay now. Thank you. I'm just going to nip to the loo. Be back later.
Well, what was that all about?
I don't know.
I think Auntie Ruby has had a little worry in her life, judging by the amount of wrinkles she has.
They're not wrinkles, she reckons they're laughter lines.
Nothing is that funny. Oh, stop it! We'll get laughter lines.
Oh, by the way, I used to think that guy, what's his name, Dave.
Nah, I told him that me and him were never going to work out.
Oh, why not?
I told him, as a lover, he just wasn't my type.
Oh, what did he say to that?
He said, "How can you be so sure? After only 3 minutes."
Well, he had to go, didn't he?
Yeah.
Hey, Scarlett was telling me earlier that we should look at men like a bank account. Without a lot of money, they generate very little interest.
Well, she should know. No, I've decided. From now on, I'm only going to date ugly men. Because I'm sick of them getting what they want and then just leaving.
But ugly men leave as well, don't they?
Yeah, but when they do, I won't be so bothered, will I?
Scarlett, I was just telling Abbie about what you said to look for in men.
Men? Well, to impress a woman, the man needs to find her attractive, to compliment her, to protect her, to spend money on her, to, I don't know, really, to go to the ends of the earth for her. But, to impress a man, all a woman needs to do is turn up half naked with a 6-pack of beer.
That's a very cynical view, Scarlett.
Well, that is the conclusion I've come to after a lifetime of experience, with the exception of your father, God rest his soul. Now, have you found my glasses?
No, we looked everywhere for them.
Oh, this is so annoying. One can live without sex, but one cannot live without one's glasses.
Too much information.
Dear.
And biscuits.
It's about time too.
Oh, you can't beat a nice cup of tea. Oh, you know, you can keep all those skinny lattes and cappuccino thingies. You can't beat a nice cuppa.
Like those that you can find at Starbucks, I suppose. Oh, there's no sugar in this. It's horrible.
Oh, here, let me get you some.
Thank you.
Sorry, Scarlett. You're the only one who takes it, you see.
That's all right.
Hey, Lucy, we're just talking about men. How did you and Harvey meet?
Oh, hasn't he told you?
No, do tell.
Well, we met through a dating service online for young professionals.
Professional! Harvey!
What's so funny about that?
Professional?
Well, I am a professional.
Professional pillar.
Don't you speak about my Harvey like that.
Oh, Harvey, got yourself a minder?
Did you know Harvey and Lucy met on the internet?
No. Why? Mind you, isn't that quite normal nowadays?
What do you think, Scarlett?
Pardon?
She said, what do you think about Harvey and Lucy meeting on a dating website?
I'm not at all surprised.
So, Lucy, what criteria did you enter to get your perfect match?
Oh, don't tell them, Luce. They'll only make fun.
No, we won't. Honest.
Well, I said that he should be musical, tell jokes, entertain me, and like staying in with me at night.
Well, in that case, you could have bought yourself a telly.
Harvey's wonderful. He makes me laugh.
He makes us laugh as well, but it's usually acting, not with him.
A good woman needs a good man.
A woman without a man is like a fish without a bicycle.
The fish don't rock. Oh, very funny. You! What are you doing here?
You!
Hello, Scarlett.
You said tomorrow. Is this you? Did you put him up to
No,
it?
I haven't got the foggiest idea why he's here. Hold on a minute. Did you just come in the back way? Can't just walk into other people's houses uninvited.
I did ring the front doorbell, but there was no answer.
That's a likely story.
Well, I'm here to collect something, aren't I, Scarlett?
You said tomorrow.
Well, call me Mr. Impatient. Well, I'm here now. Let's get on with it.
She's having a heart attack or something.
Oh, yes, how very convenient. Of course it is.
Someone call an ambulance.
There's something wrong with that. You old witch! Get him out of here! They're just breaking it!
Get out. Should we perhaps be doing mouth to mouth?
You can if you want, but the idea of snogging Scarlett is not overly appealing to me.
He's gone. Oh, he was weird.
Somebody get a mirror.
Well, this is no time to be doing your makeup.
No, I've seen on the television. You put the mirror in front of their face to see if they're still breathing.
We don't need a mirror. She's got no pulse. She's dead.
OMG!
So, Ruby, who was that bloke who was here yesterday? And why was he so adamant that Scarlett was faking her heart attack?
Who? Oh, you mean that man? He was behaving very strangely, wasn't he?
Do you mind getting that, darling?
Of course, Harvey.
No. You recognised him as soon as he walked in the door. Did he owe Scarlett money or something?
Well, I think Scarlett might have mentioned him a few times.
No, not good enough. You recognised him as soon as he came in.
I told you,
Is he blackmailing Scarlett?
don't know him. I can't think straight anyway, and in case it's escaped your attention, my sister died yesterday, and all you can do is fire questions at me about some complete stranger. I told you, I don't know him.
Look, I'm just as upset as you are. But there's something fishy going on here.
It's the police. Step over there with the others. Now, what's the magic word? Abracadabra, now move. Alright. No need for the attitude.
Oh. I say he's very dishy, isn't he? He reminds me of a young soldier I once knew. Dashing young corporal he was, you know.
He's alright. Can't say I like her very much.
Good afternoon. I'm Detective Inspector Bradley Youngblook, and this is PC Coleman.
Detective Inspector?
Now, are you all related to Mrs. Scarlett Lane?
I'm her stepson, this is Ruby Smith, her sister, and this is Lucy, my girlfriend.
Mrs. Smith, perhaps you'd like to sit down. And, would you mind nipping out and making us all a cup of tea?
Oh, of course. Would you like one?
No, thank you, I'm fine.
You can say that again.
Nothing. So why are you here? What is this all about?
Well, there's no really easy way of saying this, but you're aware that the hospital's initial diagnosis was that Scarlett Lane died of a heart attack.
Hang on, you saying that's not what happened?
Well, as her death was quite sudden and she'd been in good health up until that point, a post-mortem was taken place. And the initial results are that Scarlett Lane did not die of natural causes.
What do you mean?
Mrs. Smith, Mr. Lane, I must inform you that Scarlett Lane did not die of a heart attack as first supposed, although her heart did fail owing to another cause.
And that was...
Well, we're still waiting for the details, but I must inform you that this is being treated as a suspicious death, and it could turn into a murder inquiry.
Murder?
Don't look at me!
Or me.
Well, it wasn't me.
Not me.
Oh no, you're not pinning this on me. Oh no, you're not pinning this on me.
Well, who else do it?
What do you think?
Now, we have a few questions for you. We will need to talk to all of you in turn.
Sure you will, officer. I mean, as you can imagine, it was such a shock. I mean, it has upset us all. I mean, one minute my sister was right as rain, and the next minute she wasn't. And as you can imagine, I mean, we were very upset. She was my sister, you know, but then I think I've already told you that, haven't I? We weren't at all alike, though, mind you. We were very, very different. She had a very strong constitution. She was very, what's the word for it? Forthright, yes, that's right. Forthright, you know, not at all like me. No, we were very different. We weren't brought up together, you know. She was brought up by my grandparents. I was brought up by my parents. We didn't have enough room in our house, you see, for her. So she went to live with my grandparents. I suppose, really, if I'd gone to live with my grandparents, I suppose I could have taught her.
Auntie, calm down.
Please, Mrs. Smith.
Ruby, do call me Ruby. My mum liked the colour red, you know. It was her favourite colour.
Please,
That's why
Mrs. Smith.
Sorry.
Ruby.
Sorry.
Would you sit down for a minute?
It's very kind of you, thank you. It's my nerves, you see. You're very kind. He's very kind, isn't he?
He's a bit young for you though, Auntie.
Oh, no, I didn't mean anything like that.
He is pretty buff though. What do you reckon?
Not bad. Oh, I would.
Me too.
Hang on a minute. I thought you said you were only going for ugly blokes from now on.
Oh, I did, didn't I? Oh, I'll start that next week.
Okay, if I can have your attention, please. Am I right in assuming that all of you here were present at the time of Mrs. Lane's death?
No, you two weren't here.
Oh, comedian, eh? Do you think this is a matter for amusement? We are here to investigate a suspicious death. Name?
Brooke. Brooke Lane, but you can call me Miss.
Sit down and be quiet, Brooke Lane.
No.
I said sit down.
No, I won't.
Do I have to arrest you for obstructing a police inquiry?
Please yourself.
Now, I'm sure that won't be necessary, Constable. Miss Lane, would you mind sitting down for a moment?
Of course, Bradley. No problem.
There was someone else in the room though, Inspector.
Who was that?
Well, I don't know his name. Aunt Ruby knew him.
Is that right, Mrs. Smith?
Well, I didn't know him as such. I mean, I knew his name was Lee, but I didn't know his surname. No, I think Scarlett might have mentioned him a few times. I think he's been round here too, and they've spoken on the telephone. But I think he's just a friend. That's all.
Well, it didn't look like a very friendly visit, did it? And why did he come in the back door? He said the doorbell wasn't working, but there's nothing wrong with it.
And Scarlett didn't seem very pleased to see him when he'd been here earlier in the day either.
He was here earlier.
Yeah, they were in the kitchen arguing. I couldn't quite make out what they were saying, but I think it was something to do with a secret.
Sophie, call the station, tell them to get onto the telephone company. I want the records of the phone calls in and out for the last 2 weeks. Let's see if we can find out a little bit more about the mysterious Lee.
Why would you want to do that?
Why would you be concerned?
I was just interested, that's all.
Got my eye on you.
So, where did Mrs. Lane actually collapse?
I'm just over there.
Could someone run me through exactly what happened?
I'll do it, Bradley.
Sorry, do you mind if I call you Brad? I do like to shorten names, you know. I think it shows people you're friendly. Do you know what I mean?
Yes. Why don't you call me, Brad?
I'm very good at this sort of thing, you know. I do amateur dramatics. My mum always says I could have been a pro.
I can believe that.
Now could the rest of you all stand or sit in the positions you were when it happened?
Yeah.
Thank you. That will be sufficient. Thank you, ladies. Carry on, Miss,
Lucy, you can call me Lucy, or just Luce if you like.
You can say that again.
Carry on, Lucy.
Me and Harvey brought in the tray of tea and biscuits and put them down about here. And then we took ours, and then Brooke and Abbie took theirs, and then Ruby took one for herself and gave one to Scarlett, who tasted it and said it needed more sugar. So Ruby took it back to the kitchen and got some more sugar. And then when she came back, she gave it to Scarlett, who sat over here and was holding a cup like this. And she was saying something about fish or bicycles or something like that. And then that strange man came in from the kitchen, and Scarlett said something like, "What are you doing here? You weren't supposed to be here until tomorrow."
Wow! You do Scarlett really well.
Oh, thanks, Harv. Mum always says I do characters well. When we did Best Little Whorehouse in Texas, everyone said how brilliant.
Thank you, Lucy. Yes, I'm sure your acting skill is to be admired, but can we just concentrate on this particular performance, please?
Yes, of course, sorry. I do like to get into the character, get into the role, you know. Right, so where was I? Oh yes, so after the strange man came in, Scarlett said something to Ruby like, "Is this something to do with you?" And Ruby said that it wasn't, but then Scarlett started coughing and choking and spluttering, and she was all like, and then someone said she'd had a heart attack or something, but the strange man came over and started slapping Scarlett's face and telling her to stop pretending. Only she wasn't pretending, was she?
Yes, we are all actually aware of that, Lucy.
Yes, of course. Well, she couldn't have been pretending because she didn't get up, did she? Right, where was I? Oh yes, so after the slapping bit, my Harvey told the strange man to get out of the house. And then Brooke and Abbie dragged him out, kicking and screaming, and threw him outside. And then Harvey said that Scarlett wasn't breathing, and Ruby said that she didn't have a pulse. Well, that she was...
Dead?
Yes, that's the word. It's a bit creepy, I don't really like saying it.
So while all this was happening, where exactly were you standing?
I was right here with my Harvey. I've talked to the guys back at the NICGov. They reckon it's going to take a while to get all the telephone info, and they're going to call me when they've got something.
Thank you, Sophie. Now we're going to need to talk to everybody individually.
Hello, Coleman. Yeah, that's right. In what sort of quantity? Is there any indication of how they... Okay. And you sure? There's no doubt about it. Alright, thanks for that. Okay, go.
What do you think that was all about?
Well, she said something like, that was the cause. They must have found out how she died.
I do hate situations like this, you know.
Oh yes. You've been in situations like this before then, Auntie?
No, I didn't mean that. What I meant was that
I'm just joshing with you.
Okay, now if I can have your attention. It turns out that Scarlett Lane was poisoned.
Well, I could have told you that.
Oh, that's interesting. Just how did you know your stepmother was poisoned?
Well, it's obvious, isn't it? She was standing right there. Nobody shot her, nobody bashed her over the head, and nobody strangled her. What else could it have been? Why are you all looking at me like that?
As I was saying, Scarlett Lane was indeed poisoned. A lethal amount of cyanide was found in her bloodstream. Death would have happened within minutes of ingestion.
Indigestion?
Ingestion, Miss Lane. It means that the cyanide was taken by your stepmother in food or drink shortly before she died.
It must have been in a cup of tea.
So, does anyone know if any poisons are kept on the premises?
Yeah. The obvious one's rat poison. Scarlett had a rat, you see. She asked me to get rid of it. There's still some left in the kitchen. On top of the cupboard.
Do you happen to know what the active ingredient is?
No idea. But the bloke in the shop said it was pretty good stuff.
Could you take PC Coleman and show her, please?
Sure. This way.
Now, if you three could please leave the room so I can talk to Lucy on her own. Now! Thank you. Okay, Lucy, would you like to sit down?
Has anyone ever told you you've got really nice eyes? What colour would you say they were? Sort of between a hazily green and a brown. Really nice. And shiny too.
Thank you. Just need to ask you a few questions. How long have you known the Lane family?
Oh, Harvey and I have only been seeing each other for a couple of weeks, but we've gotten very close, if you know what I mean. We do everything together. Harvey likes to try different things. Well, so do I. We're very adventurous.
Yes, I'm not sure that's relevant to the investigation. Shall we just stick to the facts? Did you know any of the Lane family before you met Harvey?
No, I only met the rest of them yesterday.
Oh, and what did you make of Scarlett?
Well, as I said, I only met her yesterday, so I didn't really know her, but she seemed a bit prickly to me. It seemed to me you had to be careful what you said around her, or she'd jump down your throat, if you know what I mean. Harvey warned me about her before we arrived. Although, she seemed all right-ish with me. I think she thought she was rather posher than everyone else. Although she had the money to back it up, because Harvey asked her for... Sorry, nothing.
Because Harvey what?
Oh, no, really, it was nothing.
What is it?
Well, I shouldn't really say. It was private. It was between her and Harvey.
Come on, Lucy, do I have to get Harvey in here and ask him in front of you, or wouldn't you rather tell me yourself?
Me and my big mouth. He's going to be ever so upset if he finds out I've been talking about him. You won't tell him it was me, will you?
Just tell me what it is first, then we'll see what we can do.
Well, Harvey asked Scarlett for some money. Quite a lot. Oh, look, do I have to tell you this? Can't you use your detective skills to get him to tell you himself?
Yes, Lucy, you do have to tell me. We need to know everything about everyone so we can decide what's relevant to the case and what isn't. Now, do I take it from this that Harvey asked Scarlett for a loan?
Well, yes, I suppose so.
How much?
75,000. But she wouldn't lend it to him.
I see. That's quite a considerable amount. What was it for?
Well, I don't know. You'd have to ask him yourself. Look, I hope you don't think Harvey had anything to do with... Harvey wouldn't hurt a fly. He's a pussycat. Oh, you won't tell him it was me who said anything, will you, Bradley?
Let's just, see what transpires, shall we?
In my experience, when someone says hello to someone who's only been out the room for a couple of minutes, they've either got a guilty conscience or something to hide.
Something to hide? I wouldn't hide anything from you, Harv. You know that.
I'm just joshing with bangs. Kiss, kiss.
Oh, for goodness sake, give me a bucket, somebody. Do you bear mind? We've got an investigation to conduct here.
Yes, PC Coleman is quite right. Could you leave the room, please, Lucy, so I can have a chat with Harvey on his own?
Yes, of course.
I've got a sample of the rat poison for the lab gov.
Ah, good. Who had access to the poison?
I've already asked him that. He says everyone had access to it and they've all handled the box at some stage. It was placed in small places throughout the kitchen and utility room.
Well, I had to put it anywhere where the dog couldn't get at it, you see.
Dog?
Yeah. It's got a kennel out back, but it comes in at night.
Is he?
Golden retriever.
Oh, they're lovely, aren't they? I've got a chocolate lab called Henry.
I like Labradors. They've got a really easy nature and they're very good to train.
Yeah, that's right. My Henry is ever so lovable, the big lummox, daft as a brush. Do you know that when I rub his belly and say roll over, he does a quick...
Yes, thank you, Constable. Can we please get on?
Oh, sorry, boss. Where were we? Rat poison. There's still some small dishes of the stuff out there.
Well, I'm not sure if the little blighter's met his maker yet, if you know what I mean.
So you're saying that everyone had access to the poison at some stage?
That's right.
Does that include the mysterious Lee?
Sorry, not with you, old boy.
You see, when Lucy did her demonstration earlier, she said that Lee entered from the kitchen.
That's right. Hey, that makes him a suspect too then, doesn't it?
I'll bag that box up for forensics and get it dusted for Prince Gov and get everyone else's later as well.
Good. Now, Mr. Lane, can you think of anyone who would have a reason to kill Scarlett?
Please, call me Harvey. Now, why would anyone want to kill Scarlett? Well, that's a bit of a loaded question if ever I heard one. You obviously didn't know her very well.
Well, why didn't you tell me what she was like? You know, what sort of person she was? Lucy said that her first impression was that she came across as a little bit, prickly.
A little? That, Detective Inspector, is something of an understatement.
Do go on.
Do you want the concise version or the full one?
Oh, I have plenty of time. Why don't you tell me everything you know about Scarlett Lane?
Right, where to begin? Our real mother died quite young. We, that is Abbie, Brooke and me, just kids when our father and Scarlett got together. Didn't realise it at the time, but as we began to get older, we began to suspect that she'd only married him for his money. Now, I'm not saying it's definitely the case, but we had our suspicions, you know. She never really treated us the way a mother should.
But she wasn't your real mother, was she?
No, perhaps I'm not saying this right. She never warmed to us, you see. She never sat us on her knee or put her arm around us when one of us hurt ourselves. It didn't matter that much at the time because our father more than made up for it. But when he died, when we were just teenagers, we were left with just her. And no matter what we did, it was never quite right enough for us. She complained about almost everything. Quite domineering and short-tempered.
Get that one in, Sophie, before any of the others do. It could be... So, you're saying that Scarlett merely tolerated you and your sisters?
Yes. Everyone else felt the sharp end of her tongue one time or another. Ruby, Uncle Cliff, that's Aunt Ruby's husband, the postman, any of our friends who came round, anyone who met her, really.
I see. Now, indulge me for a second, will you, Harvey?
Sorry?
I want you to put yourself in my shoes and tell me who you think might have a motive for killing Scarlett.
I can't do that.
Oh, of course you can. Come on, let's start with your sisters.
Sisters? Nah, Brooke and Abbie may be many things, Inspector. They're not murderers.
But you just said yourself that Scarlett never had any natural affection for them. Maybe one of them simply got tired of the constant put-downs. Maybe that she had simply ground them down to breaking point. Or at least one of them. What do you think?
I think, Inspector, it's not my job to catch criminals. With respect. That's your job.
That was quite interesting, Gov. Some guy asking to speak to Ruby. I asked him his name and he said Robert. He asked me mine, I said I was a police officer and he hung up. So I'm getting the call traced.
Harvey?
No, don't know her, Robert. You have to ask Aunt Ruby.
Don't worry, we will.
And what about Ruby? Is there any reason that she might bear a grudge against her sister?
No, can't think of it. They got along all right most of the time.
Thank you, Harvey. That'll be all for now.
I can go.
Yes, could you ask your sisters to come in, please? Before you go, what about Lucy?
What about her?
Close are you and Lucy?
Yeah, you can say that.
Well, she obviously thinks the world of you. And not at all shy about showing her attentions in public. Would you agree, Sophie?
Yes, boss. Sickening.
Hey, I think the world of her.
Yes, and I bet she would do anything for you.
Yeah, she would. Hang on, no. If you're thinking that, Inspector, I'll tell you, you're barking up the wrong proverbial tree. Lucy hasn't got a malicious bone in her body.
And what about you, Mr. Lane? We've spoken about the others. Is there any reason that you might harbour some malice towards your stepmother?
Nope.
Apart from not being too fond of young people, eh? Well, I can sympathise with her on that one. There can be annoying things at the best of times. Wouldn't you agree, PC Coleman?
Yes, boss.
Now, is there anything else you would like to tell me?
Nope, can't think of a thing. I'll go then. I'll send in Brooke and Abbie.
£75,000.
Nice one, Gov.
Sorry?
You asked your stepmother for a loan of £75,000, and she turned you down flat.
Who told you that? Was it Lucy? Look, it wasn't like that. I offered Scarlett an opportunity to invest in a business opportunity. She said she didn't want to. It's as simple as that.
Oh, Mr. Lane, in my experience, nothing is ever as simple as that. Wouldn't you agree, Sophie?
I would, Gov.
Don't you ever disagree with him?
Oh, she very rarely has to, Mr. Lane, because I am usually right. Isn't that correct, Sophie?
Is, Gov.
Thank you, Mr. Lane. That will be all.
I can go.
Yes. Send in your sisters.
Got my eye on you.
Yeah, I know.
Do you think he's our man, Gov? I don't like him.
Early days, Sophie, early days.
This one's a bit of a tough one to solve, though, isn't it? With everyone being here and everyone's prints all over the place.
As a wise man once said, Sophie, believe that you will find an answer to your problems. Tremendous things happen to the believer, and so, if you believe that you will find an answer to your problems, it will come.
You know so much stuff, Gov. How do you remember it all?
It's just listening, Sophie. You know, you learn a great deal by just listening carefully to people. Most people, they hear what you say, but they don't really listen to what you're saying. And so they never learn.
So who do you think did it then?
Patience, Sophie, patience.
I think that Lucy's got to be a strong suspect.
And what brings you to that conclusion?
Oh, you must have noticed how she keeps trying to get close to you. Whenever you ask her an awkward question, she's all over you like a rash.
Well, that's hardly what I'd call conclusive evidence. After all, she might actually just be attracted to me.
I suppose it's possible. Of course it is, Gov. I mean, I just don't think she's all she appears to be, that's all.
Don't worry, Sophie. I think I've been around long enough to know when a woman is using her assets to try and influence me.
Talking of which, Gov.
Sorry, what did you say?
It don't matter. Ben.
Hi, Brad.
That's Detective Inspector Youngblook to you.
So, Brad, would you like to take down my particulars?
Oh, come on. Talk about flaunting it.
Well, if you've got it.
Jealous of you, pair? You're having an half, ain't you? It's going to take more than a couple of low-cut tops to impress Inspector Youngblook. Ain't that right, boss?
Yes, quite right. Can we get on, please?
Oh,
yes,
please.
Now, girls, in case you hadn't noticed, this is a murder inquiry.
That's right. They don't seem particularly upset considering their stepmother died just yesterday.
You know, PC Coleman has a point. Neither of you seem adversely affected by Scarlett Lane's sudden demise. Am I to take it from this that you're not exactly sorry she's gone?
Well, say something.
All right. Look, I'm not sorry she's gone. There, I said it.
The same goes for me.
Scarlett wasn't a very nice person.
She just put up with us because she wanted to be with our dad.
That's right. When she first met Dad, she was all like, I love children and What lovely kids, and I would treat them just like my own. What a load of crap.
She was always nicey in front of everybody else. But as soon as she was on her own with one of us, she was a different woman.
Violent?
No, not that. Just cold. Cold as ice.
Look, she never ever cared about us, did she, Abs?
No, but when Dad died, she just turned into this really bitter woman.
Well, how come you both carried on living here and didn't move out like your brother did?
And leave this house to her? Oh no. And anyway, after Dad died, she was the same with most people.
Apart from Aunt Ruby, she seemed to know how to handle her, if you know what I mean.
Look, Scarlett never cared about us, but there were times when I swear she almost tolerated us. I would swear there were times when she was almost civil to us, if you know what I mean.
Sorry, Gov, I'll just get this.
Tell me, was your stepmother in good health?
Yes, fine as far as I know.
Apart from being blind as a bat.
Oh, and deaf as a post.
So, are these hers?
Yes, they are. We spent ages looking for them yesterday. Where did you find them?
Well, I'm afraid you won't be needing them any longer. Now, can you tell me if there is anyone who might want Scarlett out of the way? Did she have any enemies?
Well, not proper enemies. Anyone who could tell you she was a moody old bat, and most people steered clear of her.
But again, like I said, Auntie Ruby knew how to handle her.
What about your brother?
Harvey, what about him?
Are you aware that he had asked Scarlett for a rather large loan?
No, we didn't.
75,000. Sorry, sis.
That loan. Well, yes, of course we knew about that loan. We don't have any secrets in this family, do we, Abs?
No, of course not.
And are you aware that she turned him down?
Yes. Look, what's that got to do with us?
Gov.
Excuse me a moment.
He fancies me.
And how did you work that out?
Well, it's obvious, isn't it? It's clear that he's going to be attracted to the more intelligent type of a girl.
Well, that rules you out then.
Cheeky cow! Do you know, I was thinking of leaving him to you, but oh no, he's going to be mine.
We'll see.
Now, ladies, about your brother's mum.
What about it?
It's just been brought to our attention that Scarlett Lane contacted her solicitors yesterday with a view to arranging a meeting.
So, the meeting was to do with changing her will so that your brother would get an increased share of your late father's legacy?
Now, were you aware that Scarlett was about to make such an arrangement?
No.
Because if you were, it would give you a significant motive for wanting Scarlett Lane out of the way. Wouldn't you agree, girls?
Look, Brad, look at us. Do you, honestly think that we would be capable of such a thing? I mean, come on.
I have a dictum.
I should hope so!
No, it means like a proverb, like a saying.
Oh. So, what is your, dick thing?
Never trust anyone who wants what you've got. Friend or no, envy is an overwhelming emotion.
I'm not with you.
Thank you, girls. That'll be all.
Oh, is that it? Are you finished with it?
Yes, please ask your aunt to come in.
Oh, you heard us, Abs. He's done with us. Come on.
Got my eye on you two.
Sophie, let's take another look at your notebook.
What is it, Gov?
So, this Robert character, he is Mrs. Smith's brother-in-law, right?
Yeah, that's right.
So what is he doing calling her here when she's separated from his brother?
Maybe he's acting as some sort of go-between for her and her husband?
Possibly, but there could be more to it.
Do you think they might have been, you know, at it?
Could be. I don't know, though. Let's ask her, shall we?
Abbie said you wanted to see me.
Yes, yes, please, Mrs. Smith. Come in. Sit down.
Ruby, do call me Ruby. Mrs. Smith is far too formal. I'll stand if you don't mind. I get very nervous in interview situations when I'm sitting. Get very nervous at the best of times, to be honest with you. Scarlett always calls me a flippity gibbet. I think it's got something to do with my blood pressure. I went to the doctors once about my blood pressure, but you know, I think that has an effect on this sort of thing. Like, you know. Anyway, enough about me. I suppose you want to talk about Scarlett?
How long have you been having an affair with your brother-in-law, Mrs. Smith?
Oh.
Fetch a glass of water. Ruby, Mrs. Smith, Ruby, are you okay? Wake up.
Oh, I'm sorry. Did I pass out?
For a short while, yes.
Oh, I am sorry.
Are you okay? You gave us a fright there for a moment.
Oh, thank you very much. I think I'll stay sitting if you don't mind.
It's a good idea. Now are you alright to carry on?
I think I'll be fine now. I've got low blood pressure, you see, so I have to be very careful. What were you
Inspector
saying?
Youngblood was asking about your affair with your husband's brother, Robert.
How did you know about that, and how did you know his name? Has he been here? Is he alright?
He's fine. He tried to call you earlier on the telephone. We traced the call and found out who he was. Now, did Scarlett know you've been seeing each other?
Yes, she saw us a couple of days ago.
Oh, you can't have been too happy about that.
Oh dear, this is all such a mess.
Oh, I don't know. You don't need to worry about her telling anyone about it now. Your secret's safe now she's dead.
I suppose you're right, really. Wait a minute. I mean, I see how this could look, but you don't... I'm horrified to think that you think I'd be capable... Oh, no, I've never had any reason to tell anyone about her secret. No.
How can you be so sure she didn't tell anyone else about it already?
Because she's my sister, that's why.
Why do I get the feeling that you're not giving us the full story?
I don't know. I've told you everything.
Your secret is your prisoner, but once you reveal it, it becomes your slave.
Sorry, I'm not with you.
He knows loads of deep, meaningful quotes like that. What's it mean, Gov?
It means, Ruby, that there is something that you are not telling us, and you're afraid that if you do, it will incriminate you.
Yeah, thought so.
No, well, no, I've told you everything I know.
I'm not so sure. You know, I think we're going to have to take you down to the station for a more in-depth interview. Constable, read her rights. Suspicion of murder.
You mean you're arresting me? You can't arrest me. All right. Could I have some more water, please?
Now, Ruby, in the short while I've been here, I've heard an awful lot about Scarlet Lane, and not a lot of it was complimentary. I've heard it described as prickly, antagonising, short-tempered, domineering. In short, I've heard nothing to persuade me that she's the kind of person you can rely on to keep a secret. So, I ask you again, why was it that you were so sure that she would not tell anyone about your affair with your brother-in-law?
Because I knew a secret about her too.
Do go on.
Well, it's something that she desperately wanted to remain a secret, but I suppose it doesn't really matter now, does it? You see, many years ago, when she was in her 20s, before she was married, she wasn't always known as Scarlett. I mean, she was born Scarlett, so people called her Scarlett, obviously, because that was the name she was born with. But you see, the thing is that she liked to be called Candy, with an I.
Oh, a frost.
Yes. I mean, she only ever did the high-class places like the Savoy and the Ritz. Or even when she was doing something like that, she thought she was a cut above the rest. I suppose she was really, wasn't she? But then again, you wouldn't catch her putting cards in telephone boxes or hanging around in street corners. Oh no, she only went for the high-class people, like the businessmen, the pop stars, and those people that claim it on their expenses. What are they called? Politicians.
And, you...
Me? Oh no, I could never do such a thing. Especially with a stranger. Oh, no, you don't know where they've been, do you? Oh, if I ever did anything like that, I'd never live with myself. Oh.
How long was Scarlett a working girl?
Quite a while, really, about 10 years.
So you're saying that this information was your insurance that Scarlett wouldn't reveal your own secret?
I suppose I am, yes.
Well, it's certainly given us something else to think about. But you're not off the hook yet, Ruby.
You mean I can go?
Yes, thank you.
So
that will be all.
Not arresting me? You've finished with...
No, that will be all. One more thing before you go. Do you take sugar in your tea?
No, why?
Does anyone else? Harvey, the sisters?
No, only Scarlett. Why?
Thank you, Ruby. That will be all.
Still got my eye on you.
You know, I think we're almost done here for today. But before we go, can you take another look around Scarlett's bedroom? See if you can find something on this lead character. A address, a telephone number we can trace, anything. And while you're at it, can you tell everyone I want them here tomorrow at 10 a.m. And before I go, I think I will... Yes, I'm going to take another look around the back.
What time is it? They said the beer at 10.
Relax, Harv, it's only 5:02. I don't know what you're looking so nervous about. If you've got nothing to hide.
Well, you know, I just want this all to be over with.
Well, it won't all be over until we found out who did it.
Exactly. Any one of us, you know, including Brooke and Abbie, could be the murderer.
You're forgetting that Lee. It must be him. I can't conceive that one of us would be a murderer.
Well, that's what you would say if you were the murderer.
Lucy, are you suggesting that I could have murdered Scarlett?
No, she's not saying that at all, are you, Lucy?
No, of course not.
What she's saying is that whoever was responsible will make sure they don't say anything that incriminates them. Him.
Hang on. I'm the only him in the room.
You knew what I meant, him or her. Anyway, it doesn't really matter. If you've got nothing to hide, it doesn't matter, does it?
What do you mean, if? I haven't got anything to hide.
Of course you haven't, Harvey.
I don't know why she said that if.
I'll get it.
Will you please relax, Harvey? I'm supposed to be the nervous one.
Well, you know, you hear things, don't you? You know, wrong person being sent to jail and all that.
Oh, don't be silly. That lovely young detective wouldn't do anything like that. He's very clever, I'm sure. And I'm sure he's very thorough as well. He wouldn't send the wrong person to prison. Oh, no. Do you know, I remember watching an episode of Midsummer Murders a little while ago. And all the way through it, I thought I knew who'd done it. You know who committed the murder? And
oh, for God's sakes, Auntie, this is not Midsummer Murders. This is real life.
Calm down, Harvey. Come over here and I'll stroke your head. Come on.
Oh.
There. That's better, isn't it?
Good morning.
Hey, what bloody hell's he doing here?
All in good time, Mr. Lane. Where are your sisters?
They're upstairs. I'll go give them a shout.
Murderer.
What did you say?
I said murderer.
How dare you?
Abbie! Brooke!
Don't you come near me.
You bitch.
Calm down, you two, or I'll charge you with something. You, sit here.
And you stay there. I'm watching you.
What's going on?
Ah, good. We're all here. Now, we can have your attention. I'm sure you're wondering what this gentleman's doing here. Why don't you introduce yourself, Mr. Saunders?
My name is Lee Saunders, and I'm Scarlett's son.
What?
Son?
She didn't have any children, I should know.
Well, it seems that you didn't know your sister quite as well as you thought, Mrs. Smith.
And before you ask, we've checked her DNA. There's no doubt about it.
Carry on, Mr. Saunders.
I was a mistake. As soon as she had me, she put me up for adoption. I wasn't part of her life plan. Some plan. Well, anyway, my adoptive mother died just recently, and I decided to try and trace Scarlett by hiring a private detective. It cost me an arm and a leg. It almost broke me. Anyway, I shouldn't have bothered, because when I turned up, she didn't want to know me. For the first time, when I went up that front door, I thought to myself I would be gutted if she rejected me. But when I got to know her, I truly didn't give a damn. In fact, I'm glad I was adopted, because I couldn't stood living with her, the snotty cow.
So why did you come back then?
Money, of course. Like I said, it almost broke me. I had to sell my car. Well, anyway, when I realised that she hadn't told anyone about me, I just hit on the idea of asking for some money to get me back on my feet. Otherwise, I might just let it slip to you lot, who I really was.
But that's blackmail.
Call it what you like. It was obvious you didn't want anyone to know about me, and that was going to be very lucrative to me.
Why should she give you any money?
Look at you lot! You've done very nicely out of her money, haven't you? It's about time I had some of it.
Hang on. Scarlett's money came from our father.
I don't care where it came from. I just care where it's going.
I trust you're going to arrest this man, Inspector.
Oh, he already has been arrested and is currently on police bail pending further inquiries. Although I think a court would look rather sympathetically on his case, seeing as he's cooperated fully with us.
Sympathetically? He's a murderer, for God's sake!
Mr. Saunders was arrested on suspicion of blackmail, not murder, because he did not murder your stepmother.
How do you know that?
Because when we are looking for a murderer, there are usually three fundamental things we consider.
Oh, I know this. Means, motive, and opportunity.
Correct. Let's start with the means, because that is the easiest part of this puzzle to solve.
Well, we know what killed her.
Quite right. The rat poison contained the cyanide that was found in Scarlett's bloodstream. So, let's move on to opportunity. It seems to me that all of you had the opportunity at some stage.
But Harvey and Lucy made the tea.
Well, thanks very much, sis.
Well, you did.
That is right, they did. But when Lucy did her demonstration earlier, which incidentally was very helpful, thank you, Lucy.
You're welcome.
She said that you two entered from the kitchen, where you would have had ample time to lace the sugar bowl with rat poison. Ruby, you took Scarlett's cup into the kitchen to add the sugar. And that just leaves Lee, who was the only one we could rule out quite quickly.
How come?
Because although he did enter from the kitchen, he didn't know that the house had a rat problem, and therefore was completely unaware there was even poison in the house.
So why did he come in the back way then?
I'll answer that. When I was here earlier, I saw all the same souped-up cars that were out there earlier, so I thought to myself, I'll just come in the back way and embarrass that bitch in just giving me my money, because she wouldn't want to cause a scene now, would she? And knowing her, she wouldn't let me in the front door, would she?
You know you've got more than a touch about your mother in you.
I'll take that as a compliment then, shall I?
And so we come to the motive. It seems to me that Harvey had a clear motive of wanting Scarlett dead. She had refused his plea for a loan. Sorry, Harvey, I should say investment opportunity. More than enough reason to want her dead, not only as a simple act of revenge, but also as a way of getting his hands on the money that much sooner. Lucy could have been complicit or even got it alone for exactly the same reasons.
I didn't know anything.
Scarlett, Ruby, you had all those years of keeping the secret of Scarlett's sordid past.
What sordid past?
It seems that before she met your father, Scarlett was known as Candy.
Candy?
With an I.
Oh.
A prostitute?
Exactly.
Blimey.
So Scarlett knew what sex was after all.
Well, Lee. Who's your daddy?
Before I nick you for assault, and you sit down. I'm watching you.
Yeah, all right.
That's just put the icing on the cake, that has. A prostitute.
You mean you didn't know?
No, of course not. How could I?
And then we come to you two.
Look, there might not have been any love lost between Scarlett and us, but what possible motive could we have for killing her?
The answer to that is the commonest motive of all. Money. You knew exactly what you were going to get when Scarlett Lane died, but all that was put into jeopardy when she agreed to change her will to increase Harvey's share. The only way to make sure that you got your hands on your fair share was to make sure she never got the chance to do so.
So, we all had a motive, but we couldn't all have killed her, could we?
Brad, you don't really think that I could have had anything to do with this?
Bear with me for one more moment, Lucy. So, we have worked out that you all had the means and indeed the opportunity, but it was motive alone that led me to identify the killer of Scarlett Lane. After interviewing all of you, I realised that we could rule out Lucy, and indeed you, Harvey. Scarlett had agreed to increase your share of the loan. Harvey, not even you would have been stupid enough to kill her before she got the chance to do so.
Thanks, I think.
So that leaves us with 3 suspects, but only one motive strong enough to result in murder. It was Lee coming on the scene that swung the balance of power, wasn't it, Ruby?
What do you mean?
Oh, I think you know exactly what I mean. You had Scarlett Lane in the palm of your hands for 30 years or more by virtue of the information you had about her past. It was the fear of you revealing this, first to her husband and then after his death to her stepchildren, that meant that you could get anything you wanted out of Scarlett. But all that changed when Lee came on the scene. You were aware he was blackmailing her, and in your mind there could be only one reason. He also knew about Scarlett's past. And if someone else knew, that information was worthless to you. And even more, if Scarlett's secret was about to be revealed, there was nothing to stop her telling everyone about your affair with your brother-in-law.
Blimey! This is good, isn't it, sis?
It's like an episode of EastEnders.
But even as you were lacing Scarlett's cup of tea with a teaspoon of rat poison, you couldn't have been more wrong, could you, Ruby? As we've just heard, Lee knew nothing about Scarlett's past. His ammunition was Scarlett's second secret, that she had had a child who she'd given away as soon as he was born. So, it seems that you killed your sister unnecessarily.
Why did you have to come back? Hey, why did you have to come back and ruin everything? Everything was going all right until you arrived.
Take her away.
Well. Aunt Ruby, who'd have thought it? Hang on. We're all in the clear, aren't we?
It would seem so, yes. But it's clear to me that there have been no tears shed in this household over the demise of Scarlett Lane. Nobody comes out of this looking like shining examples of decent human being. The demise of Scarlett Lane was a bitter end indeed. Good day.
I think a drinky.
You two go down there. We'll see you down there.
Excuse us.
You can leave now.
Don't worry, I'll be going. But don't think I've just given up just yet. I will be contesting Scarlett's will, and as her only real child, I think I'll get what's rightfully mine after all.
Just go.
Hang on a minute, Brooke. I mean, there's no reason why we can't get along. We're all kind of siblings in a way, aren't
But
we?
he's trying to get... Oh, I suppose you're right.
Why don't we have a chat about it? Get to know each other, because we are kind of family, aren't we?
Did you say that your adoptive parents were both dead, Lee?
Yeah, that's right.
What about a wife or girlfriend?
No, not at the moment.
So I suppose that we're the only family, the closest to family that you've got then.
Yeah, I guess so.
I tell you what, why don't I go and put the kettle on? Would you like a cup of tea before you go?
Yeah, all right. But don't think it's going to change anything.
Do you take sugar?
Yeah, 2 please.
That should be enough.
Pardon?
Oh, nothing.
Now, we'll be doing another play here soon. On the back of your programmes, I'll see you know better than me. It's called... Thank you. All together now. Thank you. And if you look on there, you'll find the date. We're doing it as well. Also, if you look in there, it says, if you would like to become a member or a patron of the Revellers, just let us know. Because, I mean, it's not just us on the stage, you know, you've got these lads will be doing the technical stuff and the people singing. Even dress me. etc. And you know, the microphone, all sorts of things we do with us. I mean, if you do have some talent, my golly, would you be vocal? Anybody with any talent, I mean, wouldn't we want some people with some talent? Yeah. But even if you can't do anything, but you can just serve some meals, I mean, we'd be very happy to see you. And when we do that play, at the time you see there, we should hopefully next year be doing Cabaret, the musical. Right. Now, where are we doing it? I say the Solstead, but they say the Radius, which is above the Solstead. I know where it is. I've been there. Not very often. Because it's a nightclub. Of course, Cabaret all takes place in a nightclub. So you'll be able to sit there and see a musical and have a bottle of wine and what have you, with a right sort of atmosphere. But anyway, it's been a lovely atmosphere tonight. You've been terrific. Haven't they been terrific? Far the best audience we've had today. We're a small audience, that's not very good. And tomorrow it gets bigger and then it's chaos on Friday. Anyway, thanks ever so much for coming. And I'm looking around, I see a lot of you supporters pretty regularly. Carry on doing it. Travel home safely. I hope the gate's open tonight. Because if you're happening, we can't sleep over until the Sunday. I'm sure they'll will. Good night, drive home carefully. Almost like being in love, all the way to the Thank you.